Welcome to the Aura Evolution Podcast, a sacred place for you to return home to your soul. I'm Helen, founder of Helen Creates Beauty and the author of the Aura Color Wheel. This podcast is a sanctuary from soul discovery to soul mastery. Each week, we explore aura wisdom, spirit connection, and energy tools to help you embody your light and live your soul's purpose with clarity, joy, and fulfillment. Take a deep breath. Welcome home.
Hello, radiant beings. Welcome back to the Aura Evolution Podcast. I'm your host, Helen Plan. If we're meeting the first time, I'm the founder of Helen Creates Beauty and the author of the Aura Color Wheel. It's a soul discovery system to identify your soul's purpose through your soul aura color. And today, I'm very excited about this episode because I have a very special guest, Aileen. She was born with an artist soul gift archetype. So that's why I'm always exciting to talk to another artist on the soul. Now, before we begin, a couple announcements I want to announce. First is that I am going to the Soul Search Expo. It's in Irvine, California this weekend. I will be speaking about the Aura Color Wheel and do live spirit message reading there for you on Saturday, May 2nd at 3 p.m. So if you are around the California area and if you're traveling here, I welcome you to join us. And if you pre-register, this event is actually free to attend. So I'm going to leave a link on the comment so you can grab it and register for the event. For those of you who cannot participate in person, my talk will also be live streamed on their YouTube channel. So this is their YouTube channel, Soul Search 33. And you can also watch the live stream there with me. And I will be sharing a booth with Amy Sugaski. She's an angel channeler, so she will be there. She's channeling the Council of Light. So we'll be there signing books, showing out my soulful art. I hope to give you a hug over there, okay? So great. Another announcement is that the Aura Evolution Sanctuary membership is a monthly gathering for your soul's growth. And our upcoming gathering will be on May 7th, Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And cool thing is right now I'm running a first month free for you to try out the experience the magic. Let me say that in the membership. I hope to see you there. And in May, I'm going to be channeling Archangel Metatron and Ariel and talk about the steps into practical steps, how to embody your soul's gift fully. So this is a very sacred community. So you can really joy to experience the magic to, fully experience it fully. Okay, so couple things, and then I'm going to introduce you. Let me remove this banner. So very exciting. I am going to introduce you to Aileen. She is the founder and creator behind Lavender. It's a personal growth brand dedicating to helping people becoming their best self and design their dream lives. With over 2.6 million YouTube subscribers, remember to subscribe, and 240 million views, she has inspired millions through her signature philosophy. Life is an art you can consciously create. That's so beautiful. She is the creator of the best-selling Artist of Life workbook and recently launched Resonance, an audio app for inner transformation that helps you shift your mindset, energy, and emotional state through sound and daily practice. Now let's welcome Aileen on the stage.
Hey,
Thank you so much, Aileen. I met you through the Lavender podcast. She also has a podcast on the YouTube channel. So I will make sure that I will put all the links for you to subscribe to her channel. Welcome to the Aura Evolution podcast. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you, Helen. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, as I mentioned that I know that you have taken the Soul Aura color quiz,
Yes.
right? And what is your Soul Aura color? Do you resonate with the reading?
Yes, my soul color is apple. Actually, I wore this color today because it's similar.
Wow, I
So
love
it's
that. I love
apple,
that. Yeah,
and I
apple
think
green.
the
Yeah,
archetype is artist. And when
yeah.
I saw that result, I wasn't surprised. I was like, okay,
Yes, because
obviously,
you've been doing this for a while, right?
yeah.
Mhm,
I consider myself an artist in all the ways, not just like one medium, but just how I see life.
mhm.
And everything that I do, I kind of make it a creative act.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
absolutely beautiful. And you're fully embodying it. You know, what
Yeah.
better to show people an example of what a full embodiment of a soul gift archetype is, right? Do you also resonate with, the soul wound, the soul lesson, aura layer readings as well, in terms of what challenges you might face while you are working on your artist?
I don't remember what they are because I took this quiz like a while ago, but I
Yeah.
remember I probably do, like whatever I read at the time.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Awesome. So let's get into some questions that's really beneficial for actually all of us. You mentioned that the philosophy of, seeing life as an art, and you have that in every aspect of your life. So
Mhm.
what does that really mean to see life as an art, and how can someone start living that way?
Yeah, I came to this like mission and this tagline for myself and for when I started Lavender. So I started Lavender 12 years ago in 2014, and I launched it with this concept, life is an art, make it your masterpiece. And
Mm,
it's because after graduating college, I was really lost. I would say most of my life in my younger years, I was living on autopilot. I
mm,
was doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do. I was following what my parents or what society was telling me I should do. You should do good in school. You should go for this and this and this. And I don't think I really was able to think properly for myself, like fully do what I want to do and listen to myself until after I graduated college. And so my journey after graduating was I decided not to take a regular office job like the rest of my friends and peers, but I decided to just like really find and explore what made me happy and how do I create my dream life. Because I always had big dreams. Like I want to be able to travel and I want to make money without going into an office every day. And I had all these dreams, but I didn't know how to create them. And so I started experimenting and I tried a bunch of different things. I was first like pursuing music, I did events, marketing, PR, a few different things. And what was really interesting in those years was I learned that I was actually growing and learning and I was having so much fun in life. Like I had opportunities to fly to Taiwan and act in a short film and I was like I'm meeting all these people and doing these cool things but I like none of this was written in like there's no like guidebook
yes,
that
that's
there
right.
was no step by step. I didn't even know this was an option for life when I graduated. And so that really inspired me like, oh wow, life really is something that you can create on your own. You don't have to follow a set path. You don't have to follow the rules. It's just whatever you want. You go for it and something happens. And so that was such a magical philosophy to me.
Mm,
And I started Lavender as a blog and YouTube channel. But in that beginning, it was still a new philosophy to me. So throughout Lavender, I was kind of exploring deeper. What does it mean? Like, because at that time I still wasn't making money. I was at the very beginning of my journey, but through these 12 years of Lavender, I've created many businesses. I've created many products. I've
mhm,
tried a lot of things and I really like I'm so much deeper in the journey. I learned
mhm,
about healing, like
mhm.
just I don't know, so many different layers of like
Yes.
learning the habits and the mindset that will get you to your dream life, as well as learning how to let go of all the things that you didn't even know you had on that are blocking you from your dream life. So I think that's in a nutshell what it means.
Yeah, it's so resonating because my personal journey is quite similar to yours.
Mhm.
Growing up or just doing what society tells us what it's supposed to do. And what you're describing on your personal journey to discover this and all of that is actually what I'm going to teach about the 7 steps to embody your soul gift, right? You need to experiment and learn. And just from the Aura Color Wheel evolution framework is basically like, once you know your soul gift archetype, you just keep doing, the creative jobs, the fun things, you keep to explore. And then later on, you realize those are the energy blocks, that there is some healing that's required. That's when you get deeper, I want to manifest more. I want to hold bigger dreams. I want to, grow into a successful entrepreneur doing what I do, right? And then that's the layer upon layers. That's the energetic blocks. You kind of clear them out, but you are just embodying it. So instead of learning them theoretically or have them, you kind of figure it out intuitively. You're very intuitive, apparently. So you're kind of on that journey. You understand, wow, I am really the creator of my life. I am really the manifester of my life. I hope all the listeners who are currently listening will pick up on this. It's a very, very important mindset or philosophy or even belief that we are really the creator of our own life. There is no set of rules that we have to do something. And that really opens up the infinite possibilities that you're exploring. That's absolutely cool. So I also want to remind the live participants, if you have any questions that's directly related to what we're talking about, you're welcome to ask in the comment. Aileen and I can address them. And so the audio is available tomorrow, Tuesday, every Tuesday. So if you leave us a comment, we can follow up on any questions. So, okay, let's continue this discussion. Really interesting. So you mentioned that you've been doing this 12 years.
Yeah.
So ding, ding, reminder, overnight success looks like 12 years of consistent hard work. Okay.
Yeah. And lots of ups and downs behind the scenes that people don't really know it's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. So when people are like, wow, how do you sign with Hay House, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's about a decade of hard work, then I become an overnight success, right?
Yeah.
You just do not know this yet, right?
Yes.
You have no idea how many long hours Aileen worked behind the scenes, not just the pretty stuff in the front, right? So yeah, I'm curious to know that, after, a decade of doing this or 12 years of creating content consistently, it's pretty tiring, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you learned about what actually changed someone's life?
It's such a great question because there's so many ways that you can change your life. But I think the core thing that you have to understand is in order to make a change, it has to start from within. And when I say within, it means that change has to happen on an identity level and an energy level. It's not just I'm thinking about it. It has to be truly believing and not just having a belief. It's I am this person. I am the person that is successful, that is confident, whatever. And so I think everything else are just the practices and the habits to get you there, because it's really, it's obviously hard to go from one person to another person just like that. Most people need some transition time to make that shift. And they don't really understand what it means to change your energy to become that new version of you. And so that's kind of the deep level. Once you energetically and through your identity and beliefs become that version of you that you want to be, that's where it just flows naturally. And so I think everything in between is it's the process. In the beginning, it's going to feel fake. And then you're just going to have to take action from that place. And then repetition. I believe in consistency and repetition. The more you practice, the more you get better at it, obviously. And so that's how you make real change.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. You're actually showcasing the embodiment of identity shift, how that exactly looks like.
Yeah.
And, when I had my Kundalini awakening, what I see in the quantum field, Aileen is describing, the practical way of identity shift. So at an energetic level, what that happens is that our reality of 3D manifestation comes from a higher place, your consciousness. just like how God created, the world, no matter you believe or not, right? If you read all the Asian traditional texts, they always said, God wanted to create something from his mind or his consciousness, and then that is created, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's first you have that consciousness or that belief, right? So that's why, from a human or like from us manifesting something into the 3D form, we first need to have that belief, that consciousness, that awareness, that particular consciousness, that belief that it's going to happen because that's what I wanted to create. And you really need to have that unwavering faith, that you cannot just like doubt it. Just like when God created some reality, he wouldn't say that, okay, it might happen, it might not happen, like doubt and all that. You have that faith. And when you mention about the consistency of taking actions towards that creates the, the belief, like this is going to happen because I am taking action from this. And actually, by the way, I might be already living that reality. And that's when you're exactly describing the manifestation process, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people find that challenging. So like, okay, so the next question I will have for you is that like, it sounded like, it's possible, it's practical, I want to do that too, Aileen, right? But then why do you feel so many people feel stuck or unfulfilled? Like, why are they not there? Like, okay, I have these big dreams, I want to get there too, but why am I stuck? Even when I feel like I'm already working really hard on myself.
Yeah, it could be many things, but I think it's like you don't even realize how you are blocking yourself. There are so many conditioning and beliefs that you might have about yourself or about progress that you might not even realize you're holding yourself back. For example, one belief is like thinking or believing that it's hard to get there. If you believe that it's going to be hard to get there, then it's going to be hard to get there. And I still struggle with that today, honestly, because it's really shaped by how you see the world. How you see the world is like your perspective and your beliefs. Whatever fits into that box is your reality. So if you don't truly believe it's going to be easy to be successful, or it'll come like with ease and low effort, then that's not going to happen. You have to really open and expand your beliefs of what's possible. And that's the inner work. It's not obvious to most people, and it actually takes some work getting there. There's ways that you can reprogram your mind to release those beliefs and adopt more positive ones. And that's why I do so much work that helps people like manage their beliefs, like how to release the ones that's not helping you and how to like ingrain the new ones that are helping you. So people know me and my channel for like the affirmations, which is also like a big part of my app, Resonance. So that's one big part. I think another big part, actually, I forgot because I had another point and then I just forgot, but it's okay. We'll move on.
That's okay. Yeah. Might circle it back. It might come back a little bit later.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. You talk about those English shift that inside, it's very important because in all of my programs, the Radiant Aura Activation and the Embody Your Light courses, I both mention about the limiting belief, like how to rewind that limiting belief. And that's what really brings about the English shift. So what are the most powerful ones that someone can make in terms of that English shift that you mentioned?
Like what's the most powerful?
Yeah, the most powerful ones, like what in terms of the belief of, you mentioned that, it's really hard to get there. So once I realized that, okay, it's actually really easy for me to, get there, then that really unlocks something like a huge potential within you.
That
like
specific one, there's so many limiting beliefs and everyone's kind of different, but I think there are some core ones.
Yes.
Like for example, the core belief is I believe in myself. I believe I can do it. That's simple, but that's like a foundational belief everyone has to have. If you doubt yourself, if you don't think you're good enough, if you don't think you're worthy enough of this dream life or this goal, then you're already blocking yourself. So first is you have to believe you deserve it and you're capable of getting there. Like it's possible. And then another one is, this is like a really big shift, is believing that it's inevitable. A lot of people, they look at the future and their dream like, oh, if I make it there, I might, right? Like, I really
Yes.
hope I make it there.
Yeah.
And you're realizing that you're putting self-doubt in that belief already
Yeah.
by the lack of certainty. So
Right.
if you could just train yourself to be more certain, like, my success is inevitable. It's
Mhm.
going to come to me. You
Yes.
might not be able to control the timing,
Right.
but believing that it's inevitable, like it's going to happen no matter what, if you have that mindset, then you can actually truly relax. You won't
Yes.
feel the stress. You won't feel that frustration when you're in the middle of the journey, and you realize that everything in the middle of the journey is just the lessons that you have to learn, the growth that you have to go through in order to get there. That actually brings me to my other point that I forgot
There you
earlier.
go. Yeah.
So the other point that I made was sometimes things don't happen immediately for you because your 3D self has to go through experiences in order to grow and learn the lessons that you came here to learn, right? Of course,
Yeah.
the current version of you is not going to become the multimillionaire version of you tomorrow, because in between now and then, there's so many lessons and experiences. And that's what life is about. Life isn't about jumping from A to Z. Like, if you were born and you're a kid, you're like, I want to manifest this, boom. And then, like, next month, you've manifested it. Where's the learning? Where's the growth, right? Like, that's not the point. The point of life is not exactly like boom, boom, boom. Like, I'm going to get there right away. So that's why we have this concept of time. Through time, we get to experience life, the ups and downs of life. To me, there's no good, bad. There's easy and difficult experience in life, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's necessary to experience the range of life,
Yes.
the range of emotions. You're not here to just be happy and successful the whole time. Because if you only experience happy and successful, you wouldn't understand, like, how, kind of like the fulfillment it is to go from low to high. Like, if you've
Yeah,
only
the
been high, you're,
duality. It's like if
yeah,
you don't have the other aspect, you cannot really experience the other, right? So
exactly.
yeah.
Like, you only know what you have if you've experienced not having it or experienced losing it. So that is what I believe makes life more rich. Like,
Mhm.
it's kind of like, yeah, you feel more grateful for your success. You feel more grateful for the good times because you know what the low times felt like. And so that's why I urge people, I know you want to manifest and jump over all the difficulty, but sometimes, like, I'm not saying that it must be difficult. I'm not saying every journey must be difficult, because
Mhm.
it is possible to flow with ease. But I think this is a little mindset shift that helped me, is like, all of it is adding to the rich experience of my human journey. Right?
Yes.
Like, all of it is giving me something. You're not losing when you're going through something difficult. In fact, it makes you stronger. I
Yeah.
feel so much more resilient because of the failures that I've gone through, because of the challenges I've had to, like, scrape through and overcome. And I'm so much stronger because, like, I'm like, yeah, I did that. It's almost like you add a badge of honor to your
Yeah.
sleeve, right?
Whatever doesn't destroy you makes you stronger, isn't it?
Exactly. So that's also why your journey might feel hard. So I
Mhm.
don't want you to feel like, oh, I'm such a failure at manifesting because it's so hard right now. No, maybe not. Maybe you're meant to learn whatever it is you're going through. So it's like hard to tell because everyone's journey is different, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's very, very beautifully said actually. What you're talking about is like the experience of, healing soul wounds and learning soul lessons.
Mhm.
And that's part of the human experience journey.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why your soul wanted to become a human this lifetime
Yes.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it can choose that particular soul can choose any other forms. You can even be a flower. You don't have to be a human.
Oh.
But if
With no
you
a flower with no drama.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So, but if
Oh.
your soul chose to, incarnate this lifetime to become a human again, that means that you need to kind of embrace that full range of
Yes.
journey, like
Yeah.
the goods and bad, the highs and lows. And it's almost like what you're talking about is like what perspective you choose to look at it. It's
Yeah.
like no matter what you're going to, if you're human, we all here have gifts. And, when we shine our light, we're happy, fulfilled, and all that. But we
Mhm.
all also have our wounds, and like everybody has different challenges, as you mentioned,
Mhm.
like unique, but it's still,
Yes.
it's the energy of the lessons, the wounds. But if
Mhm.
we look at it, or our perspective in looking at them as just like part of the whole journey, or
Yes.
part of the fulfillment, then it's much easier that we're not getting to that frustrated or,
Mhm.
upset, or why am I not there yet? Why,
Yeah.
whatever. And as mentioned, everybody has its own timing. So it's
Mhm.
actually absolutely not healthy to compete. It's like, why one soul takes 1 month to get somewhere you want, and another soul takes maybe 3 years to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But it's really depending on your energy, like what you have brought, like how many times that you have brought to this journey, whether you are younger soul, older soul, there is all of these layers.
Mhm.
But what your perspective or what your belief system, Eileen, actually, no matter, well, your result souls, right? Like, and how you live these, you creating the lavender, constantly putting out absolutely beautiful content. I love her content, by the way. And also, like, have this balance of like, I don't have to I still living my life, I'm
Mhm.
still enjoying life. So that's absolutely beautiful light to share. Like,
Yeah.
you're showing the example of like you can truly live it that way. So that's like the perspective change. What
Mhm.
would you say? Now I'm really curious to know your almost like your daily routine, or
Oh,
like simple practices. Like, how do
yeah.
you get there? Like, what do you do to make sure? Because no matter what, every day you're gonna face some challenges, especially
Mhm.
if the business grow. There's always something. There's
Yeah.
always issues, big or small. Like, what do you do on a daily basis that to put yourself in this mindset, then when the ship is burning, you're still not panicking? Let me know.
No, that's great. There's so many good practices in very so many different areas that can help, but ultimately it's like you said, learning to have the like a more positive perspective on your challenges. Like everything that life puts in front of me is a gift for me. It's a lesson for
Wow,
me to
that's
grow in whatever way I have to grow. So it helps you become more self-aware. If there's the same frustrations or the same challenges or lessons that keep showing up in your life, it means, okay, I still am working on this thing that I can overcome, that I can grow through. And in terms of my daily practices to help feel okay, there's a lot of different things, but I always come back to two core practices. Is one is meditation, the other is journaling. So
Mm,
meditation helps me ground myself, connect with my intuition. I get a lot of downloads. I get like I always feel like when I quiet down in meditation, I have more clarity, and
yes.
that helps me a lot. Journaling, I love to do. I do it almost every day, but journaling is just to like, because I have such an overactive mind, I need to get the words out.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to make sense, but I find that if I just keep writing and writing and writing, sometimes I'll write like, sometimes it's like 1 page, sometimes it's like 9 pages. It really
Yes.
depends.
Uh-huh.
But the more I write, the more clear my brain
Mhm.
is, because sometimes you're just looping the same thoughts and worries
Yes.
over and over again. And
Yep.
it's your brain can't let it go because it hasn't put it down somewhere.
Right.
So
Right.
when I write things down, it's telling my brain, you're putting it down. You can release it. And so if you have a worry that keeps repeating, write it down, and maybe you can repeat it again on the page, and you can realize how ridiculous that is. Like, why is this coming back again and again? And then you talk yourself through it. And so personally, I've just been my own like therapist, my own coach. I feel
I
like I
love
can
that.
talk myself, because when you're journaling, sometimes it's your mind speaking and sometimes it's your higher self speaking. It's
Yes.
your intuition or inner voice speaking. And so that's like my favorite tool to connect with that voice.
Do you like, I absolutely love it. Basically, it's very important. Meditation, if everybody follows my journey, I mentioned like 1,000 times, if there's only one tool you pick up from me, go
Mhm.
meditate. There is
Yeah.
nothing else that's more important to actually get into your heart. And I remember you mentioned that all of these has to be in alignment with coming from your heart, like this belief change, this identity shift.
Mhm.
If it's not resonating with who you truly are, like coming from your higher self, just coming from the ego, it's not going to serve you. So you mentioned that. And also, there was a point, when you do, I'm curious, when you do journaling, that sounds actually quite like automatic writing to me. So
Yes.
it's,
Yeah.
it's a form of
Stream of
automatic.
consciousness. You just let
Exactly,
it
a
flow.
stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
That's how you get download and
Yeah.
clarity, which is great. Like, do you go back to like read your journals, or like once you write it down, or after
Mhm.
you write, say, 9 pages, Like, do you go back to read it immediately and think about it, kind of like, oh, is this my mind talking? Is this my soul talking? Or you kind of revisit it after a little bit? I'm curious of like what you do.
Okay, so after I write it, I will read the entry back, but after
Okay.
that day, it's like, so I have this thing, I'll mark it with a star, or maybe I'll put like a line
Okay.
if it's something that I really like, that I might
Okay.
go back to it. That tells me go back to it for like content or something. But if
Okay.
I don't do that, I never go back to it because I write so much. I rarely go back and reread. Maybe once in a while, if I open a journal and flip through the beginning pages, I might read like some, but it's rare. I don't often go back like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting
It's
because
more for my release. And in that day, in that
right.
moment, I'll get that whatever I need to get. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and that also it goes into a subconscious mind sometimes, like just through that physical writing down practice after meditation, automatic writing, it because I also have similar practice, so I'm curious to know whether you go back. I also hardly have time. Sometimes I write pages like it's just a long chunk of
Yeah.
download. And of course, sometimes I think, oh, it's useful for my next book or something that just like useful for the content. You kind of mark it, and that's about it. But what really helps, I think, is that because of that clarity, it sticks in your subconscious mind, even if you don't go back to read the whole thing. Because I get this question quite a bit from my audience. It's like, okay, I've written so many, like how do I need to analyze it or something, right? I'm like, yeah, but you don't have to. Sometimes it's for the sake of getting, just like repeating thought, as you mentioned. If you don't write them down, they just keep coming back. It just like clear up almost your mental energy space so that you can have more, other information that comes in your life, which I find that's true. And definitely meditation and journaling. Is that why you create the Artist of Your Life workbook? It's kind of like a journal, right?
It's not exactly. So I have different ways that I write, and I guess I have different systems because
Right.
yeah, the journaling is stream of consciousness, and I don't read it back because it's just like word vomit. And like you said, I think my goal is to get to clarity, and I usually get to clarity towards the end, and then I already feel the lesson because I'm writing it. So I usually feel like either inspired or just more clear after a session. Sometimes my journaling is also scripting, like I'm actively manifesting. I practice putting myself in the identity of like the beliefs I want to have. So
Right.
So as I'm scripting many pages in that new identity, I'm really like trying to ingrain my brain and feel with my body. It's a form of manifesting.
Yes.
The Artist of Life workbook is it's more like goal oriented. So it's because I had this system of setting big goals, and then every month I would set monthly goals, I would do monthly reviews, and then I had all these exercises and questions to help me understand myself. So before I created the workbook, it was my years of discovering who I am, and what I want.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted. And so obviously I had to journal a lot about it. So the Artist of Life workbook is just an organized set of reflection prompts and goal setting prompts, and a system to help you set goals, like kind of like set big goals, break those goals down into smaller monthly goals and weekly goals, and then keep yourself accountable as you work towards those goals. Because I think most people have the problem of they set a goal and then they don't even have a process to get there. They don't even keep track every month. And they're like, oh, I forgot that I set that goal at the beginning of the year. So it's much more practical. I think the workbook is like, it makes it so practical that it's hard not to make progress towards your goals. Because my theory is like, if you take a big goal, it's hard to tackle. But if you break it down into smaller and smaller bits, the next small step could just be like, do one Google search, or like write one word that the first word to my book that I want to write or something. You break it down to a goal or to a task that's so easy that you're like, I could do that. I could do that in 1 minute, 1 second. And so if you make the action's so easy, it's hard not to do it. And that's the mindset that I like to have. Is like I have a system of like prioritizing what's the most important goal, what's the most important task for today, how can I break it down so that it's super easy to do. And if you just keep doing that every single day, it's the consistency, the compounding that you're absolutely going to reach your goals.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why people
irrevocable, right?
Exactly. I think that's why people love the workbook, because it's actually, they applied it to their own life and it actually helps them reach their goals.
Oh my gosh, Aileen, our work has so much synergy. That's
Yeah.
exactly why, like the first time when we chat, I'm like, I absolutely want to bring you on my podcast. It's just probably the system, the Oracle system I created. I'm probably just more like from a spiritual standpoint, like an energy psychic standpoint. But what you're talking about is just from more of a manifestation, like a 3D standpoint. I mean, it's very synergetic, you know, from that standpoint. And you're really dissecting the 7 steps I mentioned about embody your light. To embody your
it's like we're talking about the same thing, but we are coming from different angles.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You're like, okay, so after this identity shift, this pretty much is the next step, because even if you believe it, if you don't take action, nothing is going to manifest in the 3D realm.
And also, I want to say it's not about like doing one before the other, because I think it's all happening at the same time. You might not you don't even have to shift your identity or beliefs. You can start taking action, and through that, you'll start to change your beliefs. Or you could do it the other way around too. So there's no like one.
It's almost like a circle rather than a linear path. It's like it's almost like the action might propel you becoming that identity, or that identity might propel you to get the version to do that. So it's like a circle. That's what I say. Life is a circle or a spiral, because you grow a little bit more, you grow a little bit more, and grow a little bit more.
Yeah.
So now, as I have this conversation with you, I feel like you definitely have evolved into the visionary soul gift archetype. That's when your yellow, or the solar plexus chakra, the self-confidence, the empowerment, that part of you strengthen, from the artist soul gift archetype. And then, self-expression, when you create, you're actively creating and putting your work out there. Your blue aura layer also lit up. That also help you to embody the entrepreneur soul gift archetype. Now I'm seeing the three soul gift archetypes all combined together. And that's like, it's the version of you that you're currently embodying. And someone on the comment is saying that avocado toast is saying that that's positive self-fulfilling prophecy, a great idea of journaling. Yes, exactly. So it's not the negative one, like, oh, what if the bad things happen? She's saying that, when you're doing this journaling process, about the identity shift, this process, it's a positive way of like, okay, I'm going to be successful. And then, the artist workbook is going to have all these different steps, the priorities and the little actions, so that you can, fulfill, take actions, really fulfill of what you want to become, the process of becoming. So yes, definitely do journaling. I call it automatic writing, but it's the same thing. As I mentioned, like we're just talking about the same thing from different angles. And okay, so what would you say that there is one simple, you mentioned about meditation and journaling. So is there any other thing, like one simple practice for inner transformation, and how does it look like? Like give us an example of how that transformation happens.
Yeah. I guess since I already mentioned those two, then the third one I can mention is like positive affirmations. I think affirmations, some people love them and some people don't understand why they work. But I just encourage everyone to try affirmations, but in whatever form feels good to you, because there's different ways you can use affirmation. So affirmation is just a positive belief that you want to adopt into your life. So it could be as simple as I am worthy, I am loved, I am enough, I am doing enough, I'm good enough, or whatever. And so one way is like you can journal your affirmations. Like you can journal the positive belief and rewrite it over and over and over again, kind of like it's almost like a form of meditation too, where
Yes.
repetition will ingrain it into your brain. Another form is like speaking them to yourself, whether you want to speak them like throughout your day, just literally. The point of affirmations is using the power of repetition to reprogram your brain and your subconscious. So right before you sleep, and actually right as you're waking up, your brain is kind of in that softer state. I think they call it theta
Yes.
state. So that's also a very powerful state to do affirmations and also to do any manifesting. I remember, like, before I fell asleep, I would repeat these affirmations, or I would also just repeat my goals, like in the I am format. Like, I am doing da 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 da. I am successful in da da da. Right. So just repeating these phrases in your brain as you're falling asleep, that's also really powerful because you're getting to the subconscious level. For people who are lazy and don't want to do the work themselves, that's why I make audios, affirmation audios that you can just play on repeat. You can play them throughout your day while you're driving, play them while you're showering. You don't even have to repeat it with your mouth. It's kind of like when you listen to music, the lyrics, you start to remember the lyrics, right? Because it's just, I think music, adding the element of music helps us receive it in a different way.
Yeah, definitely.
So listening to that as you're falling asleep or just anytime throughout your day on repeat. The key with affirmations really is repetition. It will feel fake in the beginning because in the beginning you don't really believe it. But after a while, you keep repeating it. As you repeat it, the next time you go about life, things will happen, or you might take action, and you'll be like, that's proof of the affirmation that I've been working on. Like, I am good enough. I am smart. I am whatever it is you're trying to be. Like, if your affirmation is I am confident and you keep repeating that to yourself, you go through your life, and in the moments that you are confident, that's a signal to your brain, like there's positive feedback. Oh, I actually am confident. And that's how the belief starts reinforcing itself. Affirmations it doesn't just work from the affirmation level. You have to actually get proof in the real world that it's true. And that's how it becomes stronger.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely go back to the app you created. It's absolutely beautiful. So I learned affirmation from Louise Hay. And
yes, love her.
Yeah, exactly. Like she literally healed her cancer just through affirmation alone.
Yeah.
Like from an energetic standpoint, like why do you think affirmation really works? It's because affirmation is reprogram, as you mentioned, your thoughts, belief system, and that stays in the mental plane. And energetic speaking, that's your solar plexus chakra, the yellow aura layer, that the mental plane. And then what happens, energetically speaking, is that the more you practice that, it goes that the next aura layer is your emotional body. So after the mental body is the emotional body. It makes you feel that way. So the more, it's just like almost like you mentioned song lyrics. Sometimes you feel emotional about you might not understand, but you feel it. And that exactly what's created the change, the shift is what happens is when you feel it in your emotional body. Because the last aura layer, the energy layer, is your physical body. That's the last thing, is when you take action, like physically taking action. So from a mental standpoint, if you're repeating that, or if you believing that, that's going to affect your emotion.
Yes.
Like, oh, I really feel that way now. I really feel. And then when that feeling and that thought combine together, that's what motivate you to take action. And that's when you mention about that identity, you take action from that belief or that identity level, and it becomes natural rather than forced. And of course, at the beginning, it's a little bit because we're learning something. It's almost like when we're learning bicycle, like when we first trying to buy, we always fall, right? Until we get a hang of it. So what you're offering, is from the mental level, how to get into our emotional and action level.
Yeah.
Now, if I record, there was an experiment because I really want people who don't believe affirmation maybe start changing your mind. There is a science experiment I read, I forgot which university did a long time ago. When babies were born, literally when babies were born, they put snakes in front of them, like they were playing, a group of babies, right? Really happy, playing. And then they put a lot of snakes. Of course, they are safe, they are not the poisonous type. And the baby begin to poke them and even play with them. And some even hold them up. They do not exert any fear.
Mm-hmm.
Then we understand human behaviors. A lot of our beliefs, a lot of our thoughts are learned.
Yeah.
Because the only fear that babies, they try different type of fear response. The only thing that baby is fearful of is falling down. That's the only thing when we were born that we learned that's the fear that, oh, we might fall down. And loud noises. Now, talking about that, that's also about like our energy is resonating for particular frequencies. So when you mention with music combined, like affirmation with music combined, why it works even more powerfully, it's because our soul just resonate with that frequency. That particular frequency brings about a particular sound, brings about that particular emotion. That's why it affects.
It helps go into the emotional level.
Exactly. Even better. So that's why music, just the lyric alone, it doesn't sound right. But with the music background, music together, oh my gosh, now I'm resonating. That's why I even like the app's name, Resonance. That's literally what you're resonating about.
I could go on and on about the power of music and sound. Remember, I mentioned I started out in music in my journey.
That's right. You
I started playing piano when I was like 3 or 4, right? So I'm like classically trained in music. Music is a big part of my life. Something else before we move on, I want to say I loved what you said on the levels, because I want to show people there's a visual on the different levels affirmations work. The outer, think of like circle, many circles. The outer circle is think, and then it goes to feel, and then it goes to act, and then the center is be, like I am, like your identity, right?
Wow, I love that.
So affirmations help you work from the outside in, because remember, it's about having that identity and energy shift, but it's not easy for people to go from the outside to the inside right away. So you need to break through the thinking level, the feeling level, and then start to take action from that level in order to become that.
Exactly.
Completely.
The B is the green aura layer, your heart chakra. That's your soul. That's like once you penetrated those, it gets to your heart, and that's how you manifest. When those 4 layers are in alignment, that's when your energy shoots up to the universe. You know what? Now I'm fully ready. Come co-create with me. And that's when the universe organizes all these synchronicities, opportunities, the right people going in your life. Aileen, we're just talking about the same thing, exact same thing in different languages. If you notice that, even that, I would say that you are just like walking or embodying your experience. You talk from your personal experience, because that's how it works on me or my listeners. And now I'm just like using this because this is how it works, right? Like from me, because I directly experience that, the quantum, the energy field. So that's how my language is a little bit different. But like from like what you realize, but we're both talking about the truth. It's just like you get to the truth by personal experience, because I use this method, it worked on me, and my listeners' feedback also tells me that works, right? Because you have huge amount of followers, so it must resonate. And from my standpoint, like I channeled this system is because I had that Kundalini awakening, and I actually see how energy works, how the emotional body, how the mental body, I see how they work together. And what transforms inside the soul is when all of these are in alignment. When they're in alignment is when this person is manifesting. It's just like, okay, I see this, so I have the truth. Now I need to tell people that this is how it works. Like, do this, right? It's basically we're talking about the same. I'm just so glad about this conversation. And you even mentioned about the circle. That I believe. I feel. And then I act and I be, and that's exactly where you go into the. Now I'm really, really interested about tell people about resonance.
Okay,
what is it? What makes it different?
Okay, I'm so excited about Resonance. So Resonance is a new app that I just launched a couple months ago. It is your inner. Basically, it's a sound sanctuary for inner transformation. Most of the app is like audios. So some of them are guided meditations, audio, like affirmation audios with music. And then I have sound healing music as well. So all those like healing frequencies. We have music for focus, music for relaxation, binaural beats, that kind of thing. So a huge part of it is sound. And then we also have journaling. There's journal prompts for helping you do, obviously we talked about journaling already, but I think the key for good journaling is asking high quality questions. If you ask better questions, you get better answers. And most people, they don't know what to journal about. And from someone who's journaled her whole life, I'm happy to give you all the prompts that I believe really help you get to the core of understanding yourself and knowing what you want. So journaling is also a big part of it. So there's also, basically we have like timers. So if you don't like listening to audios, or if you don't like journal prompts, there's also just a free timer, like a regular meditation timer, journaling timer. And the concept is like all the time you spend in resonance is tracked. There's like stats, there's a listening personality, you can see your growth. You can see how much time you're spending on meditation, on affirmations, on journaling, on sound healing, on sleep, because there's a whole sleep category with sleep music. And I think I've never had a place where I can fully track my inner practice in that way. And I think that part is really exciting to me, is there's like this whole gamification part of the app where the more work you do, the more rewards you get. So the theme of resonance is like the universe, it's cosmic, and every time you listen, you earn stardust, and you eventually get to discover planets, shooting stars, constellations, galaxies, and more. Wow. Every time you earn a reward, there's like a secret message, because I love things like tarot and astrology. And so I basically like created a lot of secret messages. So every time you earn a reward, there's like a message that kind of guides you in a way, kind of like an oracle card or tarot card. So there's that, there's the stats, and I call it just like a home for your inner work, like a place where you go and there is some sort of practice to help you reset and realign.
That's absolutely beautiful. And you're offering a discount for new people to join, right?
Yes. Okay. There's a code, Bloom50 for 50% off your first month.
Awesome. So I'll definitely make sure that I put it in the show notes. So you and I want to check it out. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a great tool for your daily practice. And what really makes it really convenient, as you mentioned, you can listen anytime. It's almost like it just injects in your subconscious mind, so you don't need to be actively doing it. And the ideal time, as Aileen mentioned, and I completely agree, is when you're just waking up, kind of like in that theta brainwave, or while you're meditating, of course, or like before you go into bed. Those are the more powerful, times if you want to do it. And of course, you can repeat it, all the time. And I love how many themes that you can choose, when you're working, relaxing, and all of that. Okay, so I see a comment, Avocado Toast is saying that the subconscious mind is very powerful. That's why intention makes a difference. Oh, yes, intention. Plus all the energy layers too. I'm so glad we have this conversation together and kind of see the synergy of the work. That's how really embodying your soul gift. And Aileen is a perfect example. Like, she is literally doing this, and the result is, huge, millions of views on YouTube. But this overnight success takes about 12 years of consistency. So that's that's the lesson, right? And Aileen, so for people for someone who feels stuck right now, where do you tell them to start? Like, if like I'm completely, I agree with what you said, like, it sounds a lot overwhelmed, and I'm stuck. So what would be the first thing that you would recommend them to begin?
I think if you're feeling stuck, I think you have to first reflect and look inward on what is it that you're actually feeling? Like, why do you feel stuck? Are you really stuck? And I think, I think it has to start with awareness of what is it that you're going through. And then maybe the next step is just to take action on anything, even if it's small. Because I think if you're stuck, it might feel like you're not moving and things aren't changing in a positive way. I truly believe half of it is like the reflection and awareness, but the other half really is you have to like take action to get some momentum. And the more action you take, the more confident you get. Like you don't get confident sitting there and doing nothing. Like if you're just sitting there thinking about life or thinking about what just thinking about anything, you don't gain confidence because there's no proof. There's no feedback. You gain confidence by just showing up and taking action.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I remember that circle we kind of talk about, right? The action and the identity, like reflection, awareness, really key. But at the same time, you need to take action. And no matter how small that is, I remember you just mentioned like just a Google search, as tiny as that, or just literally like if you haven't taken good care of yourself, sometimes when people get stuck, they forget self-care. Maybe just don't skip meals today. Maybe just
exactly like go back to the basics. Make sure you're sleeping well, exercising, moving your body. I actually really believe in moving your body, even if it's just taking a walk. So and this goes to an energetic level too. I believe when when you're taking action, the universe will take action to support you. But if you're just sitting there and you're staying there, it's almost like you telling the universe, I'm pausing. Like I'm not, like I'm scared. I don't want to do anything. And so you create the energy in your life. And in order to create the energy in your life, you have to move. And it's good to move your body too, because if you sit or you're laying around all day, there's stagnation. This also goes into TCM as well, but like things aren't flowing. Your muscles are stiff. If your muscles are stiff and your body is stiff, how do you expect things to be flowing and moving? You have to move. Everything is a metaphor of everything. You have to move your body. The more flexible you are, the more flexible your life is. And the more active you are, the more active your life is. I think everything is energy. And something I wanted to say about my journey, because I think you come from spiritual and now you're trying to share that with people. I came from a practical standpoint, and through my journey, I became more spiritual.
That's exactly right.
I'm now at a stage where I see everything as energy, especially resonance too. Like we are vibration, energy, like sound and music is energy. And that's why there's so many powerful ways it can help heal us and help us transform. But I do see everything as energy. And if you see that as a metaphor for life, and the way sound and the way energy behaves, things will make so much more sense.
Yeah, that's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's like basically everything is energy. And if we feel stuck, the moving, like as you mentioned, just water.
Put on music and start dancing.
Right. Like, or go listen to the Resonance app. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful. Oh, thank you so much for this conversation. It's very intentional and very synergetic that I find it. So for listeners who are listening, want to start your practice, I think meditation and journaling is like definitely the go-to. And if you don't know how to journal, they're on the Resonance app, you have guided meditation plus the journaling prop. And what I can personally also attest to that is that asking the right questions is as important as writing the answers. So like for someone who's experiencing journaling, if they pull out the props, I think that has value already in itself. Thank you so much, Aileen, for being a guest on this show. I definitely want to bring you back.
Okay, I'd love to come back. It's so fun.
Yeah,
I have so much fun doing this.
We really resonate at a soul level. That's why I find you're also a very joyful being. I find that in a lot of artists' soul gift archetypes, and I can't see how you continue to evolve, into another version of you. I can tell your energy is going higher and higher. Soon enough, your third eye is gonna be open. You can already feel that. It's like it's the feeling. You will you will eventually get there. And it's just being authentically yourself, and what you're putting out to the world is just so helpful, so helpful for a lot of people. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Avocado Toast, for staying with us all the time. She's saying that thank you, Helen and Aileen. I'm going to put all Eileen's bio and the link to her YouTube channel, as well as the Resonance app and the discount on the show notes. And I'm going to gather all the comments from all the listeners and my email list. And if you have any questions, welcome to ask us. And maybe it will become the next our next episodes, our next interviews discussion points, right? Okay. So thank you so much, Aileen. Hopefully we'll connect one way or another in the future.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see how you thrive.
Thank you, Helen. This was so nice. I love you and your energy. And again, I do feel like we're very similar. So that's why we connect so well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. This audio will be available tomorrow, and I will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. Bye.